Hey guys, it's Slumming Rush. Today I'm going to be showing you an amazing game I managed to play on the map Tundra. Now, the thing that's so special about this game is I managed to carry despite the fact that there's literally 3 Arty on the enemy team. As you can see, they've got 2 M53 M55s and an Object 261. And if you're in a top tier medium tank on a map like Tundra and there's 3 Arty, you can expect Arty to be gunning for you at all times. So that's going to be like the fundamental factor when I'm trying to decide what to do for this game. I love to play the one line. I feel like it's one of the safest bets in this map, specifically because you can control who you're fighting and there is actually some Arty cover. But the thing is, in this case, when there's 3 Arty, for me to go to the one line and kind of play the F1 fight really does subject me to getting hit by Arty. So the main thing in this type of game when you find yourself in 3 Arty situations is to focus on being Arty safe at all times, because Arty hits you once, you lose 400 HP, that's 20% of your HP gone. So, you know, that's the main thing here. So what I've decided to do is I'm coming over to one line as I usually do, but the main thing here is not to stick around, because what happens is normally when I play the one line, I like to hide out here and let enemies get up to here. I don't want to scare them off, because if they sort of just fight me, if I'm poking aggressively on this corner, enemies will stop here and they'll be hull down. So I like to let them come up. But the thing is, when there's 3 Arty, I can't make that engagement work by poking like this, because I'll just get clicked, right? You can see Arty shells will kind of come in over the sledge and nail me right here. And so that's the problem. So what I have to do in this case is I have to come to this position and look for early shots. You can see I'm basically looking for shots on people who are driving into position. And then the immediate plan is to run away, because as you can imagine, once I get lit, it's like all 3 Arty will start gunning for me, and I also have no teammates. So what I did is I came to this position, I looked for early shots, it didn't work out. Now that's normally a sign that you're going to have a shitty game if you get 0 damage right off the bat. Normally I try to get about 1,000, in this case I got 0. So what I decided to do is I decided to come over to here, and the position that I'm taking is like the main threat here is Arty, not really anything else. So I'm making sure I'm near buildings, and if I get spotted, the main thing that I'm going to have to deal with is Arty. And honestly, the goal here is just not to get spotted unless I'm engaging someone. So what I've done is I've come to here, and that's because these heavy tanks and the heavy tank and the E4 are here. They're looking for shots, and then I'm also looking for shots on anyone who's kind of not playing too well on the hill. You can see, put a shot into the T100 lightweight, and that was my first shot of the game, nearly 2 minutes in. So that's not normal, and it actually can be quite frustrating. So I get that shot off. It doesn't look like there's going to be any more shots on the hill, and so I decide to retreat. The main thing here is, like, if I get lit, I need to make sure I don't lose HP to Arty. So I'm retreating because I don't want to risk getting clicked, and then I also kind of wonder like what the hell this 268 version 4 is going to do. Obviously that guy was spotted pushing into the one line, and normally if enemies are faced with 0 resistance and they're in a top tier heavily armored vehicle, you can expect them to push forwards until they find resistance. So what I've done is I've come to this location and I'm waiting for the 268 version 4 to push through. If he pushes through to here, I can flank him, right, as he's engaging my heavy tank, and if he pushes through to here, once again I plan to flank him. Especially it'll be useful because if he was to push in like I expected, I would be going downhill to get behind him. So he didn't push in. That inspires the WZ111G, myself, and the 50 TP to push up. I'm letting this guy lead the charge because I really don't know what the fuck the 268 is doing. And as you can see, he did push in. My prediction was just that he would do it sooner, and he took a while to make it happen, so it didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I still want to flank this guy. I track him. He uses his repair kit, and as he reverses over this ridge, because we've got the 140 and the reload is so quick, we're able to retrack him right there. And so this guy's basically done for. He has no kit, and with the 140's reload, we're able to basically delete one of the strongest tier 10s on the enemy team right now. So we're going to end up killing him. I was thinking about pushing through, and then I decided against it because I really didn't know what that 704 had done, and I was also worried about Arty. You'll notice like one of the major things when I'm playing in a 3 Arty game is conserving my HP and just not, you know, because if you survive until the end of the game and there's still 3 Arty, there's less teammates for your Arty to shoot at, so it's more likely that you're going to lose a lot of your HP. So that's kind of like the main thing. It's like we made a play, we killed the T100 lightweight, then we were able to kill the 268 version 4, and now I'm considering pushing down the one line. Now the problem is we've done about 1,400 HP, and the score is still tied. Like, we're 4 minutes into this. So what do you do when you find yourself in a situation like this? Well, normally what you don't want to do is you don't want to push into the enemy and lose all your HP. You can see we've literally got 3 full HP tanks right here, and for us to kind of push into their TDs when they've got good control of the hill and when they have 3 Arty is going to get most of us killed. You know, maybe I won't die doing that, but certainly the 50 TP and the other slow tank will die. and I'd be left on low HP. So what I decided to do is I'm like, hey, let's not push into them. The score is a tie, and for us to push into campers when they've got the hill control and 3 Arty, it's not smart. It's much better for us to go back to base and focus on surviving, because really, even though the game is 5 minutes like matured, no one is dead yet. We still have a plethora of tanks, it looks like. I'm not going to do math on while I'm recording, but you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of tanks alive still, and we're not going to push in. So I decided to fall back, and the reason for that is because the majority of the enemy team is on the 0 line. So I want to figure out how to do this. Now, I saw that Leo PTA over here. That was a really strong position because he was able to support the IS-7 and the E-75. The problem here is that the IS-7 and E-75 are low HP, and if the enemy starts pushing down here, that's very frequently when you'll find you'll start to lose the game. So I'm moving up because I want to see if I can help out that E-75 and IS-7 and maybe win the hill. Now, that Progetto is pushing up, and really, it doesn't matter. We've got the STRV and the WT to deal with it. We also have the 3 Arty, which I'm aware of, and it's like, I'll let the Arty and the STRV deal with the Progetto. This is the main thing right now. So what I decide to do is I'm playing this corner, right? And the way I'm doing this is, let's zoom out, is I'm watching this corner. Now, I can get away with this because we've got an E75 and an M103 who are watching this corner, and the main thing here is if I get unlucky and they poke here. Now, normally you wouldn't expect like an M103 or a T10 to do that. You'd kind of expect them to side scrape off of one of these sides, but that's the play that's happening right now. I'm taking a risk. One of these angles isn't being watched, and even if I do get hit by someone who pokes here, you know, you can expect at least 2 guns to return that shot. So nothing pokes. Now, that's weird. Normally you'd expect like the T10 to have poked there. That's why I was watching, and it's like it didn't work out. So what I decided to do instead is I decided to go after the Progetto because he's in the middle of the map and he's a 2-shot. You'll notice the amount of thought that goes into this game to get such little damage. It's fucking insane, but I'm really glad it worked. So the Progetto killed the STRV. I put a shot into him, and he's a 1-shot. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to engage in an auto-loading Progetto when there's 3 Arty, even though I'm full HP, and there's also a standard B above me. It's just not smart. They also have the full HP Leo PTA. So what I decided to do is, like, I got 1 shot into the Progetto. I'm not going to fight that. I'm happy with the 1 shot of damage, and I do see that Leo PTA coming to flank us. So I fall back. I tell the Leo PTA to my right to pay attention. He didn't, and I managed to track the PTA. Unfortunately, my teammate doesn't get the retrack, and we could have killed the PTA there, but it didn't work out. So that guy manages to get safe, which is a problem when you're losing 5-7 and the enemy just won the hill. So one thing that just happens here is the enemy has so much presence here, and we're pushing down the 1 line. Now, the team is doing better than I predicted on the 1 line, but the main problem for me right now is the fact that they have fucking full HP heavies who are above me, and for me to simply sit here and just hope if they YOLO me that my supporting teammates can help me is not smart. So what I decide to do is I take a risk that's kind of all or nothing. As I'm running away right here, it would be normal for people to poke here and shoot you in the engine deck, but I say if I don't escape, I don't see us winning this. So I took the risk, and I managed to get out, and luckily the IS-4 wasn't able to shoot me. Now, I tested to see if you could run over these rail cars. You can't, and that IS-4 is overlooking me. Now, the problem is there's 3 Arty. This is pretty much the first time I've been spotted in this area, but it is surprising that no Arty took a shot at me right there, so it is what it is. I focus on getting Arty safe. You can see by this point I'm probably unspotted, and that IS-4 will be in a position where I can actually shoot at him. Now, the PTA is in the open, and he's going to be getting shot at, so I can put a heat shell into the IS-4. That's a single shot of damage. We're up to 2400, and that guy falls back, so that's unfortunate. The next thing here is, like, what can I do given the circumstances? You can see the majority of their team is on the hill. They've got a Progetto who is last spotted here, and the PTA who's pushing in, and so to me, like when I was playing this game, it looks like we've got this entire western side of the map. So there's a lot I can do with that, specifically go for Arty right here. So that's what I'm trying to do. Actually, the main priority was seeing if I could catch that Progetto unawares, basically in the mid, trying to make a play, trying to flank someone. He wasn't here, and so I'm like, okay, I don't know where the fuck he is. He's probably on the hill. Let's just go straight for Arty, and then the Progetto gets spotted. So the Progetto made a fantastic play to go after that 50 TP, especially considering he had the 3 clickers. By simply spotting that 50 TP, he could have expected to do very well. Unfortunately, I was making this play too, and since that guy's a 1-shot, you know, me coming to flank him like I am is basically going to screw his game over. So I come to flank him, I'm able to get a shot into him before he returns fire. The next thing is basically just to get as Arty safe as I can, and actually I should have gotten Arty safe. Honestly, I should have taken a second to go here, but what I decided to do instead is I decided to go straight back to base, and the M53, M55 almost nailed me there. So In hindsight, I think I could have spared the second to sit at B2 and try to get Arty safe, but you can see by running away, I'm trying to defend the base. I'm able to get a shot into this M53, M55. That turns him into a certain one-shot for the 50 TP who might be shooting HE or doing something silly like that. And the main goal here is to sort of return to base, and if they're pushing into our base, I want to be able to take advantage of that because, you know, obviously. The other thing here is the cap on this map, the enemy can actually cap out. So capping is such a big threat on this map. On most map, it's not that big of a deal because the cap's an open field and Arty can generally reset it, but in this case, there's that massive rock, and if I let them get onto the cap, the Arty will have a difficult time resetting, so I need to make sure that they can't really even get onto the cap, or if they do, they're always engaging either the Arty or myself. So I come up to flank this PTA, he's a two-shot, I put one into the back of his turret. Right here, I was worried about Arty, but I also understood that at the biggest, you know, obviously I want to kill that PTA. I miss a shot like a dingus, and that sucks, but as you can see, I'm driving forwards. Now, what's going to happen as I drive forwards is I'm exposing myself to the hill. I know that. The main thing here was actually avoiding Arty. I think if I had come from this angle, it would have been Arty safe, but it would have been harder for me to fight that PTA. So, you know, hindsight's 2020. I managed to not drive correctly. The standard B actually gets 2 shots into me for that. And you can see, main priority is just getting safe from the hill and getting Arty safe. And I expect that the GW E100 might be able to kill this Leo PTA in a short second here. So PTA pokes on me. That was a really good poke. We were able to get the kill. And now you can see we're tracked. I'm just going to focus on getting Arty safe. In this case, we know that both the clickers are up in A0, and that's because the 50 TP cleared out the entire A line up to A7. So by sitting here in the rock, I'm Arty safe, but I'm just going to make extra sure that I'm Arty safe. And I'm also trying to stay safe from the hill, of course. So I poked to see if I can get a shot on the standard B. He fell back. So with the spotting of the T10 and the standard B where they are, this makes it really easy for me because the standard B is a one-shot, and I'm full HP in this instance. You can see how important it is to save your HP for situations like this, because as I'm going to engage a standard B who is an auto reloader, it's going to cost me a lot of HP, and so having that HP to sort of use and also sort of like to use against the standard B and potentially the Arty is really important. So I pushed forwards. Now, normally when people engage someone who's in this position, they would go to the left here. That's because they spawn on the south and they just feel it's safer. Here, I'm going to push straight forwards. Now, the reason for that is because there's 2 Arty. We know they're in A0, and I don't want to get clicked by them. The risk here is that I get penned by like a 261 or the M53, and then I die. So I come up to here, and you can see that actually catches out the standard B like a lot. He's not prepared for it at all. He's not even looking. So I put a shot into his side, and I was going to push into him to try to make him turn his gun more, but then I remembered that Arty exists. I take the hit. We're able to get the kill. We're up to 5 kills now, and now they've got the T10 and the 261 who are left. So right here, I'm just making sure I don't get lit. I'm being as safe as I possibly can. You can see I poke forward. Both already click me, and you like waiting the extra half second saved me a lot of HP there, because otherwise they would have direct hit me. So the M53 dies. Now there's just the 261 and the T10, and really at this point the game's pretty much over. We're at 1000 HP. The T10 pushes into the 50 TP. The 50 TP is actually able to get him before I get any damage, and now it's just a matter of chasing down the 261, trying to get as much damage as possible. And you can see we're down to 606 HP, 4280 damage, and that's what you got to do when you're on Tundra and there's 3 Artys. So let's go take a look at the end plates and we'll go from there. All right, so as you can see, that was my first win of the day, 7,770 XP with a ×5 for the win. We ended up doing 4,280 damage, 5 kills, 1,000 base XP, so that would have been a mastery badge 2nd class. We ended up making 17,000 credits, didn't fire much gold, fired 18 shells in fact, 15 of those hit, 15 of those penned, 18 of those hit, and you know, it was 11 minutes 36-second game, despite the fact that we literally fired 18 times. Like, that was a long game, a lot of thought went into it, and it took a lot of work to get that 4.3k damage. So hopefully this game was helpful. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button. And one thing you can do to support me is you can subscribe to my channel on Twitch with Amazon Prime. It gives me like $2 or anything, so if you want to do that, you're welcome to. And yeah, it's the video. If you want to see more, be sure to like and the subscribe button, and I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.